Hello students, we are back with another question which has been asked previously in SSC JEE examination 2004 for 10 marks. Let me read the question first. A cantilever 20 centimeter wide and 25 centimeter deep projects 2 meter out of the wall and is carrying a point load of 80 kilonewton at the free end as shown in the figure given below. Find the slope and the deflection of the cantilever at the free end and take E is equals to 210 gigapascal. Now I'll be solving this question using the moment area theorem. Those who don't know what is moment area theorem or still have the confusion regarding that, so I would request them to kindly go through my videos on moment area theorem 1 and 2, where I have in detail explained everything about the moment area theorem. The link is in the description box. Now let's go to the question. Now in this question, there is a problem. There is a problem that the cross section of the beam is given in centimeters. So let me draw the cross section of the beam. It is given in centimeters. So let this be the cross section of the beam. It is given in centimeters. The width is 20 centimeter and the depth is 25 centimeter. The length of the beam is given in meters and it is carrying a load of 80 kilonewton. This is given in kilonewton, whereas the E, that is the Young's modulus of the material, is given in gigapascal. Now you can see that everything is given in different units: kilonewton, meter, gigapascal, centimeter. They are all of different units. So for solving such questions, we must be aware of the unit conversion. This is the place where most of you will commit mistake. The question is very easy, but the thing which requires attention is the unit conversions. So first of all, I'm going to teach you about the unit conversions. Those who already know about this can skip to the next part of the video in the time lapse. Let's learn what is gigapascal. E is given to you in gigapascal, 210 gigapascal. Gigapascal means it is 210 into 10 to the power 9 pascals. Just like you convert mega, like 1 megapascal or 1 mega of something is equals to 10 to the power 6 pascals. Similarly, 1 gigapascal or 1 giga times of anything is 10 to the power 9 of that unit. So 1 gigapascal is 10 to the power 9 pascal. Okay. So this is 210 into 10 to the power 9 pascals. Now what is Pascal? Pascal is 1 Pascal means 1 Newton per meter square. So now we got the units as Pascal. That means we have got in Newton and meter square. So we will try to convert each of the units in Newton and meter square. Okay. Then only we are going to solve. That means it is 210 into 10 to the power 9 Newton per meter square. So we will convert this kilonewton into Newton. This meter will remain same. We have got two units in centimeters which we will convert into meters in the standard unit, and then only we are going to solve this question. E is given in gigapascal, so I have converted it into Newton per meter square. Load is given in kilonewton, so load, let me write it P as 80 kilonewton. So to convert 80 kilonewton, we have to multiply it by 3, 10 to the power 3. So it will be 10 to the power 3 newtons. Now this 20 centimeter and 25 centimeter, you just write it down. Breadth is given as 0.2 meters and depth is given as 0.25 meters, converted into meters. Now everything is easy. We will solve the question. Let's move ahead. So by using the moment area theorem 1, we are going to solve this. Moment area theorem 1 is very convenient for such problems where the slope at a certain point is 0. The deflection at certain point is 0. Here it is a cantilever beam. The slope and deflection at this point where it is fixed is 0. Now the beam will deflect something like this. Let this be point B. Now the slope at point B, this theta, we have to find out. The first moment theorem says that theta B with respect to theta A is equals to area of M by EI diagram between these points A and B, right? between points A and B. If this statement is confusing you, please go through my lecture on the moment area theorem 1. Now for finding out the slope and deflection, the first step is to find out what is the bending moment diagram. So let's do the first step to find out the bending moment diagram. Draw the BMD. For BMD, let's take a section at a distance x from here. Let me write the moment equation. So moment equation will be minus 80 into x. Now this is a hogging moment. I'm writing the sign convention for bending moment diagram. I'm taking hogging moment as negative and the sagging moment as positive. You must know this beforehand. Those who don't, please go through my fundamentals of how to draw SFD and BMD. Now moment at point B will be when x is equals to 0, so it will be 0, and moment at point A will be when x is 2 meters, so it will be minus 160. The unit will be kilonewton meter. Okay, the unit is kilonewton meter, so we will convert it into Newton meter, because as I have told you, we will be using only Newton meter. So let me convert this into Newton meter. It will be 160 into 10 to the power 3 Newton meter. So let me draw the bending moment diagram. The bending moment diagram will be something like this with a negative. It will be a negative diagram. Here it will be minus 160 into 10 to the power 3, and it is 0 over here. Now we are not concerned with just the bending moment diagram, rather we want M by EI diagram. So let me divide it by EI. If we simply divide it by EI, we will get M by EI diagram. All we need to find the slope at B is the area of M by EI diagram between A and B. So let's find this area. Area is very simple. Area is the area of the triangle. It is half into base into height. So what is base? Base is given as minus 160 into 10 to the power 3 by EI into height. Height is how much? It is 2 meters. So we'll leave it as it is. And whatever answer we will get in radians. So be very careful while solving such questions. We will get the answer in radians, not in degrees. Whenever we solve this question, we get the answer in radians. Okay, so let's solve this. This 2 and this 2 will be gone. It will be minus 160 into 10 to the power 3 by EI. Now what is the value of E we are going to put? Are we going to put 210 as given in the question? No, we are not. We are going to put 210 into 10 to the power 9 Newton per meter square. So 210 into 10 to the power 9 E. And what is the value of I? We don't know what is the value of I. We haven't calculated it yet. So let's first calculate the value of I. I means the moment of inertia of the cross section of the beam. So this is the beam. We have to calculate the moment of inertia of the cross section of the beam about this axis. We have to calculate that. Okay, so let's calculate the moment of inertia. So this is the beam over here. The width was given as 0.2 meters and the height was given as 0.25 meters, right? So we have to calculate everything in meters. What is the moment of inertia of a rectangle? The moment of inertia of the rectangle is BD cubed by 12. So this is the width, this is the height or the depth. So B into D cube, that is 0.25 whole cube by 12. It is 2 into 10 to the power minus 1 into 25 into 10 to the power minus 2 whole cube, because it is very easy to solve it like this, by 12. So what is 25 whole cube? 25 into 25 into 25 will give you 15625. So it is 15625 into 10 to the power minus 6 into 10 to the power minus 1 by 6. So whatever is the answer, whole divided by 6, 2640 into 10 to the power minus 7 meter to the power 4. You put this value over here, 40 into 10 to the power minus 7, and you will solve this, you will get the answer in radians. Let me solve this for you. So this is plus 9 and minus 7, it is 10 to the power 2. This will become 10 to the power 2, and there is 10 to the power 3 in the numerator, so it will just cancel out and you will get 110 left. Zero 0.0028, so it is minus 0.0028 radians. Now what is this minus sign? Minus sign denotes that initially the beam should be like this, but it is deflecting like this, and it is forming an angle which is in the clockwise direction with respect to horizontal. So minus radians means you can write the angle theta is in the clockwise direction with respect to horizontal. Now let's move on to the next part of the question, which is moment area theorem 2. We have to find the deflection of the beam. Now for finding the deflection of the beam, we are using the moment area theorem 2. Now what is moment area theorem 2? It states that deflection of point B with respect to tangent drawn at point A is equals to moment of area of M by EI diagram taken about point B, where we have to find the deflection. Okay, this is the statement for moment area theorem 2. So for that, what we have to do, we have to find the deflection of this point B with respect to tangent drawn at point A. But since point A is not moving, so what happens is we will simply get the deflection of point B. How we will get the deflection? This was the moment area diagram, right? This was M by EI diagram. So the quantity which we got was minus 160 into 10 to the power 3 by EI. Minus 160 into 10 to the power 3 by EI. Now we have to find the moment of this area, the first moment of this area about point B. What does that mean? So we will first find out the area, we will find the centroid, and we will multiply the centroidal distance with the area from point B. So PBA, that means deflection of point B with respect to tangent drawn at point A, is equals to moment of area of M by EI diagram. Let me write it down. Moment of area of M by EI diagram about point B. We have to find the moment about the point where we have to find the deflection. Now those who don't know about this theorem, kindly go through my video of derivation of moment area theorem 2. The link is in the description box. So what will be the moment of area? We'll find the area first. So area is half into base into height. So it will be now where is the centroid of the triangle? The centroid of the triangle lies at a distance of 2/3 from the vertex. The centroid lies at the distance of 2/3 from the vertex of the triangle, or you can say it lies at a 1/3 distance from the base. This is very important for you to know. The centroid of the triangle, where does it lie? If you are taking it from the base, it is 1/3. If you are taking it from the vertex, it is 2/3. This is the centroidal distance. So centroidal distance is how much? 2/3 of the total height of the triangle. So what is the total height of the triangle? It is 2 meters. Okay, so we will write 2/3 of 2 meters. Now you can get the answer. No, still not. I've committed a mistake. So area of the triangle was half into base into height. Now which you have to multiply by the centroidal distance. Centroidal distance is how much? It is 2/3 of the height of the triangle. Now height of the triangle is how much? It is 2 meters. So 2/3 of 2 meters will give you the distance of the centroid from point B. And this whole quantity initially is the area of the triangle. This thing you should understand. If you solve this, you will get the required deflection, and the deflection you will get in meters because everything is in meters. Okay, so let me solve it. What is the value of E we are going to put? The value of E is 210 into 10 to the power 9. Don't forget the units. What is the value of I? We have calculated it as 2640 into 10 to the power minus 7. 2640 into 10 to the power minus 7 into 2 into 2 by 3 into 2 again. So this 2 and this 2 will be gone, and you solve this. Okay, so 10 to the power minus 9, 10 to the power minus 7 will be gone. You will be left with 10 to the power 2. So 10 to the power 2 and 10 to the power 3 will be gone. You will be left with 10. So you are getting the answer as 0.38 10 to the power minus 2. So the answer comes out to be, you can write it like this in the standard notation. If you want to write, you should write in the standard notation. Standard notation is that 3.8 into 10 to the power minus 3 millimeters, and there was a negative sign. I just forgot the negative sign. So this negative sign indicates that your beam is deflecting downwards. Okay, so you either write the negative sign or you don't write the negative sign. If you don't write the sign, just mention that the deflection of the beam is downwards. If you write in words, it is better. It is very difficult to explain whether positive, negative, and it's very difficult to understand the sign convention of this theorem. But from the basic idea, you know that the beam will deflect downwards because the load is acting in the downward direction. Of course the beam is going to deflect downwards. So what you are going to do, you just write in the examination, the beam will deflect downwards, will deflect downward. So that's all for today's class. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye bye. Have a nice day. Buckle up your preparation. Do your best and keep learning, keep enjoying. Till then, this is Shradha Bharti signing off. And let's see you in the next lecture with some new questions.